Well, hello there. Welcome to our little shop. Today we have a 1959 ES-345 in the shop with a few small issues. It's been refretted years ago and all that. It's had the pickups removed, replaced. We've got a wrong volume pot back here with the shaft sticking up way too high. We've got some stripped out pickup mounting screw holes, front pickup rings on backwards. We've got some loose inlays, some loose binding here. Wrong truss rod cover, we're going to leave that. But just wanted to let you know here, we'll get started on this. We actually have also a loose choke coil for the Veritone flopping around inside it. So we're going to clean this stuff up a little bit. So, here's something else interesting. My pal mentioned the other night when he was down here looking at this that he was surprised it didn't have a different pick guard on it. So we've got two screw holes here, two screw holes here. We were talking about things being pirated off this guitar. We'll get more into that later. But I think he was right. Well, looky here. We have a PAF. No big surprise. Like I say, the pickups in this guitar have been swapped out and put back anyway, and you can see the cover's been off this one. Someone was probably checking it to see if it had dual white bobbins or not. Yeah, because, you know, the double black bobbins are the least valuable. But, ruh-roh. Someone has chopped the leads out of this. This is actually one of my things. Man. If you can't be bothered to go over here to the controls and unhook the lead at its entire length, stay the hell out of it. Yeah, anyway. So this has been spliced on here. So basically we've had a very valuable pickup here neutered. They did write the value on it. Someone's been checking these. They've been up for sale more than likely. There's a little pencil writing right here that you probably can't see. There you go. 7.63 for the resistance. We'll pull the rear one out here and see what's there too. But man, anyway. Alright. Well, okay, this makes me feel better. I have the rear pickup out. So I got to patch some screw holes here and stuff. And in here we got our choke coil flopping around. So anyway, something rattles in this guitar. Anyway. Thankfully, they didn't chop the lead on the rear one. And here's the reading on it, 7.78. Take a good look at that patent applied for sticker. That's a real one. There's another real one. Something else here while we're talking about the PAFs. Let me give you guys a quick tip. If you want to see what color the bobbins are, you don't have to take the covers off. Pull one of these two screws and one of these two screws and look to see what color the bobbin is through the screw hole. These screws hold the bobbins in. So the deal here is, like I say, there's been stuff stolen off this guitar. I'm surprised the knobs are still there. They're the original knobs. They're worth a lot too. The toggle switch cap's been changed. But when you've got a 58 or 59 model guitar like this, the 175s and the 345s like these, especially the 175s because they had the nickel hardware, are prime for being pirated because the value is a lot less than that of a Les Paul or a 335. So if you're looking at something that is several times more valuable, these guys see no problem with pulling, like I said, a set of PAFs out of 345 or 175 and replacing them in a 58 or 59 Les Pauls. Had the pickups changed to something else later to put it back to original, to try to bring the value back up. It's a shame, but it's economics, you know, living in a world of capitalism and all that. So, you know, heaven forbid that a piece of history be left intact. That's why the originals are worth so much. So, okay, moving on. Let's get on to the repair of this. So, like I say, this choke coil was completely loose, so a couple solder joints on each side of it, took care of it, and there was one cracked on the other one also, which left one original one over here. So we get this screwed back in, get that solid, and that takes care of that problem. We've also already turned the pickup ring around on the front one, the way it's supposed to be. I found something else here. If you see here, the bolt holes in the bottom of the legs for the pickup has been stripped out, and someone has soldered nuts on it on both sides. Makes it functional, but looks pretty bad. Anyway, moving on. All right, we have our new volume pot in over here. You see the shaft on it is much shorter. What the story is, the replacement pot that had been put in it, if you look at the collar here, sticks up here much farther. Okay, so the knob only seats down to that rim, so it won't go on down. That's why the knob's up too high. So it's setting way up too high. So anyway, using some of our little tricks here, like my, you know, output jack helper here, some dental floss, some masking tape, you know, to draw these pots and switches all out and then back in after resoldering this. We're ready to put this all back together. It's always a little trying on the patience when you're working on one of these F-hole guitars, but you just be cool when you deal with it. So, we've got that taken care of. We haven't got anything tightened up. We've got to line all those up. We have our holes plugged here. Of course, you know, we have our choke remounted down here. While we were waiting for the glue to dry here, and for soldering iron to warm up, to do this, we glued down all of our loose inlays and loose binding. So we're winding this down. Just going to put some bits and pieces back together here. We have to drill pilot holes for all these. We'll do that by hand. Remount our stuff, we're going to find some new screws. And put this all back together. Oh, and here's something else. I forgot to show this to you. You can see where the front pickup cavity here has been chiseled out to get some other type of pickup in here when PF was removed. Alright, well, we have the front pickup reinstalled. There was something else here I wanted to mention to you that I forgot to. If you notice here, they used 440 bolts to mount this pickup with. when they soldered the nuts and all that onto the feet of this pickup, if they had used 348 thread bolts and nuts, it would actually have looked stock, because 348 is actually the stock size. So they didn't, and it sticks out kind of like a sore thumb, and that's unfortunate. Anyway, we're ready to drill the holes back here for the rear pickup, and like I say, we're drilling them by hand, so we're using Glenn. Like I say, most of my tools are named. Poor old Glenn's had a rough life. He's probably lived in my toolbox for 40 years. So anyway, we're going to drill those and get this rear pickup mounted. And there we go. Some time, some elbow grease, some ingenuity, just a little plain old hard work. Yeah. And we have a 59 Gibson 345 up and running again. As you can see back here, the knob sets a lot lower. We've got a proper pot in here now. We've got pick guard on it, and again, like I say, this guitar probably did come with a long pick guard, like my buddy said, because there's the other screw hole. And like I said, there's another up here underneath pick guard here too. We replaced a few screws. I dug around in my box of goodies and found a couple old, slightly gnarly looking screws that look right. Gave the whole guitar a fairly good cleaning. Adjusted everything up. But we have it all working now. Even found something else interesting. We was talking about clipping off the pickup leads and splicing those. I found, it's funny, it's even got a piece, it's even got a little bit of gold paint on it. Anyway, this is the original piece of the lead wire from the front pickup. This was still attached to the toggle switch back here. It was just hanging in there. It's actually tucked up in the rear pickup cavity. So there's a nice little antenna with nothing on it, but hum. So going right to the contact for the front pickup, because the other lead for the front pickup was soldered right beside it. So anyway, here's a piece of old wire. It's cracked, broken, you know, looks a little nasty, but it should. This guitar is almost as old as I am. So anyway, so there we go. You say a little bit of tender care here, and we've got it all shaped back up. It's a shame that some of the original parts have come out missing off this. Like I said, they're first things to be pirated. Yeah, because, you know, vintage guitar dealers are going to do whatever they can to make as much money as they possibly can. So anyway, there you go. Some of you may not get a chance to actually even see one of these, but there is a legit 59 Gibson, PAFs and all. So till next time, play nice. I'll see you later.